Hi, I'm Greg Herbet. I'm a clinical psychologist working with Spectrum Mental Health, and I want to talk a little bit about something that comes up in our clinics a lot, and something that people seek services for, and specifically that's anger. People often want help around anger management. They find themselves blowing up at things that they really don't want to be blowing up at, and it's causing them difficulty. And so they've tried the most common version of anger management. I think that we've probably all run into at some point or another, which is telling ourselves to calm down, or someone else telling us to calm down. And neither of those things, as you're probably aware, are necessarily all that effective when someone is angry. And there's a few different reasons for that. I think one of the key things to think about in these situations is that emotions very rarely occur as a kind of as a single issue. And what I mean by that is it's quite rare to feel just one emotion and not a hint of anything else. And so just like if you are sad, you may well be feeling anxious as well. Or if you're anxious, you may well be feeling sad as well. If you're feeling angry, chances are there may well be something else going on as well as that. It's not necessarily, oh, you're not really angry, you just feel this other thing. It's often the case, though, that anger and another feeling have been blended together. And so that other feeling may be something like fear, it may be shame or hurt, feeling of being disrespected, concerns about kind of losing something, or not engaging in the way that you'd hope, or something that may be threatening. There's a bunch of different things that anger may be a reaction to, and indeed there are some approaches and theories that essentially say that anger is more often than not a reaction to something else, as opposed to what they would call a kind of a primary emotion. And so knowing that anger rarely occurs on its own is actually something that's quite useful, because it allows us to take a step back in situations where we might otherwise be quite angry and start to consider, what are we reacting to emotionally? What else is going on here that might help us understand the difficulty that we're finding ourselves in, that kind of that feeling of anger or even rage or fury, whatever you want to call it. And so if you think back to the last time you felt angry about something, whatever it was, consider what other emotion may have been playing out at that time. Just think about kind of, was there something else that you were feeling in addition to anger? The anger may have eclipsed a lot of other things, but chances are there's probably something else that you were experiencing in those situations. Identifying patterns like that can be really helpful, because one, it allows you to try to identify what the triggers may be. If you end up feeling this other emotion, then anger may well be coming quick on its heels, because often a lot of the time people will get angry very quickly, or they won't know that the anger is coming, and then suddenly it kind of blows up, and then afterwards they think that just, it felt like it came out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from. The other thing that identifying what the other emotion that's blended in with anger can do is it can help you start identifying what are the other things that are maybe driving my anger, and how might I be able to start to address those. That's one part of anger management, but it's something that I'd encourage you to think about and to reflect on, and maybe even think about the last time you got angry, and see what that looks like, so that you open up a different way of managing some of that anger, so that it's not simply calm down, because as we know, calm down doesn't really work.